Well, this is what we're gonna start with today anyways. It's real windy out. I'd like to be washing the chopper. It's gonna be warm today, but I don't really like being out in the wind when the pressure washer's running. You can control the crap blowing back in your face while you're washing, but when the wind is blowing, you don't have any control over that. So we're gonna get this ready for wheat, so that when we put this away, it is ready to do small grains. We're gonna go ahead and slide the straw chopper ahead, stalk chopper, whatever you wanna call it. We're gonna slide that ahead. I've got these, I don't know what the heck you'd call them, flutes or whatever. They're broke up a little bit just from vibration through the years and whatever. And we've got to straighten a couple of them. I've got one on the bench that I've got to do some welding to. All right, so we have this back end somewhat cobbled back together. We had to do a little work to all of these 6 diverters. They were, just throughout the years, they were in need of repair. So I welded a little flat stock piece on a few of these. It just cobbed a piece on there. That one there, and this middle one, and then we had to put a little plate on that middle one because it was starting to wear off and tear. And on the other 3, I didn't end up taking them off. What I ended up doing was I just ended up drilling another hole in here to bolt this on there. It's not going to be adjustable at all, because you can adjust those flutes or whatever you want to call them. You can adjust them to do, either in real narrow or being out wide. Now, what we're gonna do next is we'll fold this down, move the whole unit forward, and then when we combine wheat, the wheat can come off of the straw walkers, come right down through the back of the machine down onto the ground, and we can bale the straw. But before we do that, being that I have the welder out, we've got this brake drum, or not a brake drum, it is a hub off of the green diller that failed last week. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna run a beta weld around on the inside of this race. So right here is where the bearing rides, and this bearing got so hot that it kind of welded itself to the race and everything else. So we're gonna put a beta weld in there, and then what that's gonna do is when that cools down, it's gonna shrink it a little bit, and it's gonna allow us to pound this race out. But this race might be welded to the hub, and if that's the case, we're just gonna throw the hub out. But we'll go ahead and give it a try and see if we can salvage this hub or not. All right, we have run a bead around on the inside of that race. Now that weld's not too bad right there. It doesn't have to be all that pretty. But it is nasty looking right here because there's this flaky stuff. And what that is the chrome from the wheels on the bearing itself. You can kind of hear that. You heard that click. That race is cooling down already, and we'll let it sit here a while, and then we'll go ahead and pound it out of there. It's kind of an experiment right at the moment because I'm assuming this hub is junk, but time will tell. We'll let that cool down, and we'll work on the combine in the meantime. All right, we are just about ready to pull this baffle out of the back end. We'll show you that here in a second. But we gotta help Alex get ready to chop some more stalks. She's installing some diesel exhaust fluid. We've got the 8320R on the bush hog. It's a little overkill, but it works nice because it is set up for the corn planter, and she can drive in between the corn rows and end up chopping everything with the bush hog instead of the duals on the tractor or the tires on the tractor driving over a majority of the stalks. Now you might say, oh, if you had stalk stompers or a chopping head and whatever, you wouldn't have to do this. Well, you're right there, but we like to chop the stalks because what it does is it gives some material for the manure to absorb into. The stalk stompers, they just lay the stalk over, but with spread manure, we run into these issues where we need to have some material to hold this manure in place. So I've got a dust cap to put on that one wheel there. You need a hand getting that pushed back inside? You need one of them electric pump units, you know. You just pull the hose out and pump into it. But this ground, if this apron was swept up, what do you think of the green Chevy? Does that look nice or what? Yeah, we washed the combine yesterday. I kind of need to give you a hand here. It's caught in that little, there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get a dust cap on here. We're just gonna walk around this thing quick and make sure everything is good. We were over greasing it the other day just so that we could kind of preserve these bearings. So we'll go ahead and grease it one more good time and then throw a new cap on there. How's the other ones? Alright, we're gonna throw some heavy grease in there. We had this wheel here. It was the one we put on the other day, and that rim is bent, so when it goes down the road, she wobbles a little bit, doesn't she? All right, so you got to get a 1/4-inch bolt about yay long and a couple of nuts and get it in that drop pin there. All right, you got the dust cap on there. That is ready to go, and she is gonna get moving here. Some of you have asked about the Kubota skid steer. That is finally running again. It needed a solenoid for the foot pedal that raises the boom up and down. They just actually fixed that here the other day. So she has some ground that's maybe 8 miles away from here to do, and then she is going to run over to Warner's and do the Cleverly farm. She's got maybe 250 acres left, and then that job will be done and that can get cleaned up. The wind has died down. It's nice and warm. I probably should be washing the chopper, but I kind of want to get this combine done, and then maybe we'll get on the chopper this afternoon. Well, I guess there's a couple of reasons why it's nice to take this out. There's a lot of garbage that gets up in there. So what we try to do every year is we try to get the combine ready for wheat in the winter, or as we get done with corn, we try to get the machine ready for wheat. Just so we haven't got to do it later. We have more time now. And you can see this crap that is in there that is going to sit in there forever. And a lot of these older combines, some of them are rusted out back here that have this kind of a straw chopper unit on there. So it's a good idea to take that out, I guess. We didn't used to take it out for wheat, but I plugged this straw walker section up a couple of times, mainly when you stop. If you don't back up when you stop, when you're combining wheat, you should, it's just as soon as you stop, back up quick so the combine can clean out. What happens is the straw is coming out of the combine and it's about this high, and then if you stop, all that material builds up into the machine and you plug it, and that's where you run into that problem. So we'll go ahead and scrape all that crap out of there, jump up in there with a blowgun, and then we've got a couple of pieces to put back in there, little tiny pieces, and wipe this thing down and put that on the pallet up in the hay barn, pallet racking. We have the drive belt to put on yet for that straw chopper. It mainly needs to just kind of idle so that any little bit of stuff that does fall down in the top of it while you're doing wheat can be chewed up. Just you need to run it some. So, and we've got some stuff here that we need to blow out of the machine here. Well, as we continue with our setup for wheat / finishing cleanup of the combine, we're getting down towards the last little bit here. We take the lower sieve out of the combine when we do corn. I just put that back in. Ran the combine wide open for a while prior to putting that in there. And you can see the additional amount of crap that was still in the combine. I spent, well, today's Monday, I spent probably not quite 2.5 hours going around this with the big air compressor on Saturday. And I ran out of time. Charlotte had a basketball game, so we went to her basketball game. Actually, it was a tournament late Saturday afternoon, and I didn't wash this until yesterday. I spent about 3 hours pressure washing it, and we did a pretty good job on it. Garrett helped me finish it up. He ran the soap brush around the outside, and we are able to wash this combine up a lot faster using that big air compressor. I can remember spending 2-3 days washing the combine off with just a pressure washer. So Sarah has gone through the cab with a vacuum cleaner. I had the mouse pail, or the mouse trap 5-gallon pail up in the cab. We caught 4 the first night, Saturday into Sunday, and then Sunday into Monday I caught 2. And then here from last night into this morning we caught 1 more. She's also cleaning out the cab of the green truck here. You up for doing any waxing? Not really? So, do you want to see the mice that we have here? I'm going to go ahead and count them. You want to see? I'm going to pull them out one at a time, okay? So, we got them down in the bucket there. We better get them out. They've been in here for about 10 days, and if we don't get them out of there, they're going to start they're probably going to disintegrate. And we don't want that. So we'll go ahead and pluck them out. Go ahead, reach in there, grab them. You're not going to reach in there and grab them? I mean, they ain't going to hurt you. Ew, look at that guy. 1, 2, 3. That's too bad! Don't do that! What is this? 5, 6, and 7. I don't know which one. That one that I seen in here this morning when I counted that 7th one out, that one was big. He was real fat, so he must have just went in there. So, yeah. Now what we're going to do, we did put the peanut butter up in the upper lid of the trap here, and then I had a little bit on the actual ramp here. We ended up wiping that off. I was advised by you guys, the guys that are leaving the comments, that that might provide a little bit of traction and they might be able to climb out. This unit here I bought on Amazon. Everybody was wondering where we got this from. This came from Amazon. It was like $10 or something. All you get is the cover, and then the you have to furnish the pail. This is actually a pail that I got from Central Tractor when we bought a bunch of hydraulic oil to put in the trucks when we did that project. So another question I was getting is, hey, you know, how are the mice entering the cab of the combine? Well, they're actually entering the cab through where the wire harness comes through that one side there. There's a little bit of an opening there, and I've tried plugging that hole before with, you know, cloth rags or whatever, and they just end up eating that stuff up, and they, you know, they make their nest with that stuff, and then they, you know. The other spot where they're getting in is somewhere up in the cab roof somewhere. So what I need to do is take some steel wool like you guys have advised, plug that into the hole, and then they're not going to want to eat that. That'll keep them out of the cab, but we'll go ahead and leave this in the cab of the combine when we park it. And we might have to come back every once in a while and put some fresh peanut butter in there or something to lure them to it. But we've gotten 7 so far. We have so far the other pail that's in the shop here, we haven't gotten any of that yet. So what we're going to have to do is clean out the back of this truck. I had these panels here that were on the bottom of the head. They came off. I don't think I'm going to bother putting them back on. I need to clean out the bed. I'm going to leave this toolbox in there. The fuel tank's got fuel in it. We're going to go ahead and empty the fuel out of it and put this truck away here sometime, maybe today. So Sarah's just cleaning all of my garbage out of the cab. She's going to armor all the dash maybe and wash the windows. I don't know about putting any wax on it. You know, being that it's a Chevy, do you really think it needs wax?
No.
I mean, is it worthy of it, or is it just not needed? Not needed? So that could mean a couple of things then. But it does shine pretty good. You know, that's one thing about leaving something dirty. You don't have to worry about the sun fading it. You know, if it's dirty, it's got that mask on there. But, yeah. So, we'll keep at it here. I've got to do a couple other things up front on the combine here. I got to change the feeder house speed, change the grate height, and what else do I got to do? I got to change the cylinder speed, and then we're just going to run a grease gun around it. The chopper is in the hay barn. We'll switch spots and we'll bring the chopper down and start going through that. Well, we're going to see if this race will come out of this hub here, and we can get this bench cleaned off and keep on with the rest of our projects here. So that is not moving at all. This hub we're gonna have to throw out. I gotta imagine that slipped a couple of times, and then it's gonna have that hub wore out. The race is not gonna fit it anyways, even if we do get it out. You could see the way this is shrunk a little bit here, and just the odd shape to it, that it is welded itself down in there a little further, just from how hot it got. And then when it cooled, it just kind of melted itself into the hub itself. So that hub is junk. We'll have to get another one just so that we have one on the shelf, so we're not hunting for one if this happens again. Well, we've got the green truck out here, and now the boys are putting tires on Richard's truck. This truck has disc brakes on it, and being that the tires are off in there, Sarge decided that we should throw a set of pads on here. So Sarah went to get some parts for the Diller tanker. She went to get a hub for that, and long as she was out and about, they've got her picking up some pads at Utica General for this truck here. So Richard, he is washing, my brother that is, he is washing the 7290 and the grain buggy. So he is going to get the Uncle of the Year award. Because Sarah's off getting parts. Richard's washing her tractor and grain buggy off. So these guys are changing out the tires here. They got the back axle about done, and then they're going to go ahead and do the front axle, but it is miserable out. Still a little warm, but the wind's blowing a little bit, and that's not too pleasant of a job out in the wind running the pressure washer, but he's getting her done. So we've got some things to finish up on the combine, then we're going to swap it out with the chopper here. But this this truck, yeah, it's our first truck with disc brakes. So they're going to do an oil change on this too, and what this has in it for an engine is a Paycar engine, which is made by, you know, it's the parent company of Peterbilt and Kenworth. But I didn't know this has like a air assist bags on the front axle. They would almost act as almost like not only a helper, but that would give it a little more better ride, you know, than just regular springs.
It's kind of like the 8-bag Kenworth there.
Yeah.
And have what, another 4 up here.
I wonder what this unit here is all about. Oh, look at that spare key. Well, yeah. Spare key taped right to the steering linkage.
That's a good spot.
Yeah. So if you lock yourself out, go to a steering linkage, or your yeah, steering shaft. Spare key taped to the steering shaft. So that's what this engine looks like. Kind of looks like a cross between a Cummins and a Detroit. Actually, it looks very similar to the 13-liter Detroits that are in the Freightliners.
So this is what, like 550, 600?
I think it's 485. I think it's a 12.9, I think. So that gives you a glance at the power unit that's in this unit here. Is that what it is? 12.9?
Yeah, 12.9.
Yeah, 12.9. Yeah, Sarge looked at the tag, and it's up on here. 12.9, and it is rated at 500 horsepower. All right, so we are having a regular partay here. Well, these guys are, I'm not. I'm just playing with a combine. But we're gonna learn something today. We're gonna learn right along with you guys. Again, this is the first truck that we've had with disc brakes on the back. And Sarge is gonna walk us through on how to swap these guys out of there. He got the pads off the back axle before I could even get the camera out and rolling here. So that's how quick of a job that was. So you're gonna walk us through.
So you got this little cap down here that you take off, a little rubber boot that covers this little 10mm nut down here. It's for backing off the caliper. As you go, you hear it click, and it'll sit here and release the actual pistons on the caliper.
Kind of like a slack adjuster. But it's releasing the, well, it's not hydraulic pressure. It's still running with an air chamber. So it's not like a piston style caliper that we're used to seeing on a passenger car.
And then with these on this side, you got a little pin with the clip here. You just rip that right off. A little washer. Tabs pin comes out. That comes out.
That's kind of like a backing plate to hold the pad into the actual caliper assembly. Bang, bang.
And that's it.
Maybe 3 minutes and 15 seconds per wheel. Now, when you get the new pads, what do they give you for hardware? Do you get to that new pin?
Yeah, the new pin, the new washer, the new clip, and the new metal bracket.
No, no kidding.
And then you got the new springs that go on the actual pads too.
Pretty neat. Once they went to these disc brakes, they're a lot better for maintenance, obviously, and I think they stop better too than the drum brakes. I don't know why. Maybe they cool down faster.
Yeah, the rotor and everything, it's going to make it cool down faster, but once you get the heat on them, kind of like with these, you can see all the heat that got on them.
Yeah.
Changing the front too, even though there's a lot on.
Yeah.
What does two Freightliners have? Are they
They're drum brakes on the Freightliner. Yeah, this is the first disc brake. So the front pads aren't as wore as the rear, but we're here. Just do it, you know. And then with buying this equipment used, you don't know what the prior job that it did, and you don't know their service records and whatever. That's why we're changing the oil now. The salesman, I don't know if he told Richard, did he already change the oil on or not? We're doing it anyways. Here is the difference in brakes in these two units. Now that brake shoe there goes to the front end of like a T800 or something. That's a 6-inch brake shoe. And if we had brake shoes for the rear of this truck, they would be 7-inch. I believe they would be 7s. I could be wrong. 7 inches wide. So he's removing the other side, so we might as well sneak on over. He's backing off the caliper. So how does that slack adjuster work? It's just a straight stroke from the actual brake canister itself then.
And it's auto adjusting.
And just like a ratchet style push paw. Huh.
Yeah, because also with the different brake canisters here, you just got like a little nub that's probably only like 2 inches that comes out.
Oh.
Sit there and hit a ratchet and adjust it as it goes.
Yeah. Well, we're just waiting for Sarah to get back here with some parts. She went to Fry to get the hub for the diller. Then I didn't know Richard wanted to do the brakes and stuff on this, so she picked up the stuff at Peterbilt. Now she went back to Fry to get slack adjusters for truck 12. So we'll get them in the morning. Well, that's going to do it for this video. They've got the tires on, the brake pad switched out, and they also changed the oil on it. We ended up rolling the combine out of here, and we've got the chopper in. We've got to get it ready for hay, and we also need to get it washed up here. So that's going to do it for this video, folks. I want to thank you for watching, and we will catch you at the next video.